right. Let's open some programs. Come on. What? Hello, people. Hello. Puzzle script game. Puzzle script game. All right. You're here. You can start the stream. Well, yes. Also, I have a chocolate snowman from the store. So you know it's going to be a good stream. Let's update the Sokoban game and hope that nobody broke everything. Nope, nobody really broke anything. Good. Good. I just bit the head off the snowman. Don't I think Final Fantasy VII is the best game ever? No. I tried playing that when it came out on PC and I quit after like 20 minutes. There's this whole like, I'm trying to go across a map and I get pulled into fights invisibly by random monsters. And it feels like the developer is just saying, fuck you, we will have to make this game long and put in lots of filler. We can't let you go where you're trying to go. It was bad. It was bad. How well do I know Casey? Pretty well. Like on what scale are we measuring? I know him about as well as he knows me. That's a reflexive situation. God, our compile time is getting long, man. We're going to have that stream soon where we tighten this up. This is unacceptable. Okay. I want to do the thing where when you push stuff, it kind of gets a little jostle. If you can't push it. Like if you can't go. So that may or may not require me to look at and change some things. So when you're trying to go somewhere, we have this pushes array. Okay, let's not move it for now. We have this pushes array. And when we are calling into can go, we pass this array. Now, first of all, I want to make this argument optional, right? Because sometimes I pass it and I don't intend to pay attention to the data, like here. And I just wasn't sure if it could be null. So we're going to make sure we can pass null. And then I want to make sure that if you can't go, we still tell you what you would have tried to push if you could go, which I'm not sure if it works that way. But let's do this for now. We're going to pass null for our pushes. Actually, okay, it does default to null, so we can actually even take out that argument. And in fact, can push is probably redundant with the pointer to pushes. So I feel like I could simplify all of this. Let's look. Okay, here we're assuming that it's non-null. If pushes, right? Oh, this is, okay. We know that can push has to be true. So we're sort of assuming if can push was true, then pushes is true. And we should just say, look, only pass the array if you can push. Even though it seems more complicated for the caller, it's not really. So we're going to get rid of this can push argument. Okay, so we took that out. I guess in an endpoint beam, there would never be a case when you could push the thing. I don't know. I don't know what the behavior should be. Okay. So junk pushes here we don't need. Okay? P pushes is a pointer to an array of entity, right? If voluntary, then we say the pointer to pushes. All right. Wait, I screwed up. If voluntary and can push. Do we use this other can push? No. Okay. All right. Great. So this is just propagating. If you're pushing something that could push something else, then yeah. Okay. We've got weird logic we're going to have to unwrap. Is this inside can go itself? No, let's move individual guy. All right. All right, great. That's fine. We're not going to worry about any of that right now. Okay. So we only pass that if can push is true. And we call push pushes later. Okay. Here, we're doing a similar thing. Okay, so you know what? We want to do this whole thing. This P pushes. Like, I think we just want that for everybody. Right? And then we pass that. This is all like the Bard has her own code path that does all this stuff. It's probably not a good idea. Push pushes. All right. Okay, this is in can go, right? Yeah. So this is a recursive call inside can go. And we're just going to pass the pushes on. Push the pushes. All right, there might be some calls to can go from other places. Yes. Oh wait, that's not even other places. P pushes. Where is this? Did we not take out can push? We didn't take it out here. Look at all these arguments. We don't need this many. Dude, those people who teach you that you shouldn't have more than 4 arguments to a procedure are going to have a fucking aneurysm about this one. What does pushes... That is, so the dot dot inside the brackets means it's an expandable array, and the star entity means the type of the array element is pointer to entity. Pointer to entity. Okay, can go in promised. Pushes. Yes. We can push. Rovers can push. Right. So this just well, we're just going to pass null, and we get rid of this. Here's another call to can go, and the same thing. Same thing. I knew I was doing this a lot. Okay. Hope we're not breaking it too bad. Mirror aisles. And this is just there. And again. Look at all these times we ask if we can go. Voluntary. Okay. That was not. Drat. Drat. Okay. This is a slightly different thing. Okay. We'll shorten this one up then. You know what? Let's make this clearer. Yeah. If can push. Ah. All right. Well, who knows what I just did to the game? Okay, we can push things. We can push rows of things. Thief can pull things. All right. Great. Now, let's try some simpler levels. Seems like we can push. That, you know what time it is. Imagine a throwback to Braid where an entity could ignore and do. Yeah, that would be the expansion pack. You got to wait for the expansion pack. How are people doing in chat? Did people go to Lana Lux's game stream after that last raid? How'd that go? Was it good? Well enough? Well enough doesn't sound that good. Christmas is coming up. Dude, I was supposed to book my vacation today. I didn't do that. I was just lazy and programmed all day and took a nap. What percentage of the initial retail price would be that expansion pack? I don't know. Kind of hard to follow what she is doing. I don't know Unity very well, so anytime I watch someone use Unity, I'm like, well, it looks like Unity stuff. Where am I going on vacation? I don't know. Somewhere warm, like the U.S. Virgin Islands or Aruba or like San Diego. Dude, grew up in San Diego. I can't go there for vacation. I actually totally could. That would be a chill Christmas, just go to San Diego. However's gone scuba diving. I have not. Will you be building Ethereum dApp games? No, please stop asking that. This is my distributed app game right here. Look how distributed this game is. You have to distribute rocks into all sorts of positions. You have to distribute monsters into places where they kill each other. Thoughts on the new Epic Game Store? It sounds good. More competition is always good. Well, not always, but in this case, it's good. Yeah, if I push one of these blocks in this game and it's connected to the blockchain, how long does it take me to push a block by one square? What am I most excited about? I don't know. I'm excited about having a chill vacation, which is really going to turn into a working vacation because that's what it always does. But I like just having some time to do what I'm going to do and bust out my laptop and work on stuff. Think on giving another mental health talk any day soon. I don't have a lot more to say than what I said in that one. Or, you know, I don't feel like I do. So I don't see the need for another one. Ever been to Legoland, California? No, where is that? Is that like near Disneyland? I grew up near Knott's Berry Farm, which I don't think exists anymore. Carlsbad, all right. I don't think that existed when I was a kid. How's language development been going? Well, we've been working on the game mostly. So language development is... you know, mostly we're logging the bugs that we find as we work on the game, and then we're going to plow through them and fix them and do some features soon. Opened in 1998 or so. Free tickets for me. Well, I'll probably rather go to a Caribbean island than Legoland, but I appreciate the offer. I used to go to SeaWorld all the time when I was a kid, and I liked climbing around. I assume it's still there, but they had this big like rope pirate ship play area where you climbed around on all these giant rope nettings. I used to go there all the time. Have I used a stack-based language like Forth or PostScript? Yes and yes. Will you show up with a cake behind Casey? Well, it depends on the timing, I think. Knott's Berry Farm is still open. Wow, okay. I don't feel like I've heard of that in a long time. Will I sell a course on how to make games? No, that's not really my thing. I mean, if people want to learn how to make games, they could watch me do it for free. That's fine. They won't let you in unless you have a kid with you? Okay. Too many lone adults showing up. Knott's is the 10th most visited theme park in North America. Wow, really? I always thought of it as like the crappy non-Disneyland park that nobody went to, but maybe that's just how it was when I was a kid and they made it better. Like, what is at Knott's Berry Farm now? Like, they used to have like a couple of rides and like watch the parade or whatever. Like, I don't even remember. And they would try to sell you like, their jam and jelly and stuff. And it was like, all right. Lego is dangerous business.
Telling the truth can be bad news. Telling the truth can be bad news. Telling the truth can be telling the truth can be good news. Telling the truth is a bad idea. Telling the truth is a difficult problem. Telling the truth is a scary. Telling the truth is a scary predicament. Telling the truth is a bitter herb. Telling the truth is a dangerous tunnel. When you get out of that tunnel, it's got bitter black life ahead. Forget herb. I never heard of a hit that had the word herb in it. Telling the truth is a dangerous thing. Dangerous! Telling the truth can be dangerous what? Dangerous. Telling the truth can be dangerous. Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Why? Why?
Why?
Why? Telling the truth can be dangerous business because if yourself, you don't know why. Huh? Well, I'm just giving you with the ideas. Telling the truth can be dangerous business. If you don't know yourself, then you don't know why. Oh, is that brilliant? Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Honest and popular don't go hand in hand. If you admit that you can play the accordion, no one will hire you in a rock and roll band. But we can't sing our hearts out. And if we're lucky, we'll no neighbors complain.
Still going. Do I prefer to play puzzles or make puzzles? Well, it depends if they're good puzzles or not. Most puzzles in the world are not good puzzles. So I certainly don't prefer to play those. Yeah, that island art is exploratory. It's going to go further in that direction and look better. Well, you're assuming that we're going to have level names in this game. I don't know if we will. Like, if you try to come up with 500 level names, they're not all going to be good. Any form of rough ETA? No, we're just trying to get it done when we can. All right, 30 levels failed. That's about what we expected. So we're good. We are good. All right. Dangerous Business is a good name that nobody in the world will get. Yes, Steven Sausage Roll is a good game. Snakebird is a good game. It could have been Snakebird could have been a little better and a little tighter, but it is a surprisingly good game from people who I never heard of. Do I like Portal 1 or 2? I like Portal 1 more than Portal 2. Portal 2 is kind of a bad game. Portal 1 is better. This is an actual game that will be released. It is actually coming out. It is actually going to be released. Okay, so, well, when you can't go somewhere, then we will do something. If we can't go, non-multi-pushers can smash. Okay. So do basic cannot go. Why are we doing this? Okay. So if we're doing the basic cannot go, then if pushes, nudge pushes, mover pushes, a ridge delta, something like that. So what is nudge pushes? Well, hell if I know. Okay, nudge pushes. The mover is an entity. The pushes is an array of entity, and delta is a vector 3. And for pushes, if it dot nudge t is greater than or equal to 0, continue. This is a variable that doesn't exist yet, but we're going to add it. We're just going to say screw it and add a nudge value onto every single entity in the universe rather than making a component. Nudge delta is delta. Okay, now when we do our post undo reevaluate, if it dot nudge t greater than or equal to 0, it dot nudge t equals -1. Okay, in entity kind of overkill having nudge data on every single entity, but hey. So nudge t is -1.0, and nudge direction is is a vector 3. It's true, we have more quotes than levels right now. Would I ever make a game like the Myst series? Well, the last game I worked on was inspired by Myst very heavily, so I don't understand the question. Okay. Kind of overkill having nudge data on every single entity, but hey, all right. Let's just see if that compiles. Nudge delta. It's called nudge direction. Nudge direction is dir. Nudge mushes, it's nudge pushes. What is this mushes thing? M is not even near P. How did I type that? Okay, so now nothing is going to happen. I should start on heroes 1, 2. Or somewhere, yeah. So this is a place where I can have this good line of things. And so what I want is I want to try to push, and like I want these 3 objects to kind of move in some way. Like maybe they just compact a little bit in response to the push in ever decreasing ways. In fact, let's do that. Let's have a nudge factor. We're going to say, we're not going to initialize that. And nudge pushes is going to say, it's going to start with a factor, and it.nudge factor is factor, and factor times equals 0.6 or whatever. So it'll decay how much the things compact as you go further down the line. Oh, we have to go in the opposite order. Because pushes get passed to us. Pushes are piled up recursively, so they are in the array in the opposite order of the way we would like. So we iterate over the array backward. Boom! Boom! We just do that. We just put a less than sign. We don't care. How long have I been working on this project? Probably about 2 years for this game. Dude, yeah. I imagine me making a game where everyone's like in a tank and it worked on 9600 baud modems. That would be crazy. Who would ever do that? Who would ever do that? Especially software rendered. That's crazy. Nobody knows how to do software rendering. People can barely check a checkbox in Unity these days, man. Also, I ate an entire chocolate snowman so far. Do I think I'll move to a list of nudged objects instead of each object keeping nudge data? It depends. So here's the thing. Probably not until way later, if ever, unless it starts being annoying at render time or even during simulate time. So the problem is I need to update the nudge values, right? And normally you would do that in a simulate loop, and we may not be iterating over all entities in simulate. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this differently. We're going to do it differently. We're just going to do it differently. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it differently. So we're going to have nudges on the entity manager. Just like falling entities. Nudged entities is an array of PID, right? So, no, not even that. It's an array of nudge, right? A nudge is a struct of the ID and the nudge data, right? And we're going to say nudge is a nudge. Actually, we can even put that. Nudge is a nudge. Nudge dot nudge factor is factor. Nudge dot nudge direction is dir. Okay. The nudge t is 0. Now, for manager dot nudges, if it dot id is equal to is equal to pushed dot entity ID continue. So if it's already nudged once, don't add another one, right? Not continue. Found is false. Found is fond. You could also be fond. Found is true and break. Okay. So we're just searching through the array and we try to find a thing. So now if we found it, we say if not found, rather, we array add manager.nudges that nudge. That's all. That's all. Entity. Okay. So we've got nudges now. We're nudging budgies. All right, well, let's make that compile. Oh yeah. Array reset manager nudged entities. Isn't that what I called it? Yeah. Just like we reset falling entities, we reset nudged entities. All right. All right. Manager, I knew I forgot to set that. Nudges is not, right, it's not called nudges. It's called nudged entities. But let's call it nudges because it's not the entity IDs, right? It's really the nudge structs. Okay, nudges is not a member of entity manager because I'm dumb. Nudges. Come on. You need the AI to know that nudges and nudgeds are the same. Okay. Well, we still don't do anything. So let's go to simulate. Every frame we're going to update nudges. Okay. Well, we want to say, okay, here's the thing. We still need some per entity data. We need to tell the entity system that something's being nudged. But we could... I mean, it could be a flag. It's just, yeah. All right, maybe I should have just had this data be on the entities, honestly. Nah, whatever. Whatever. Okay. Nudge.nudge t plus equals d nudge. If nudge.nudge t is greater than or equal to 1.0, remove nudge. Okay. What's d nudge? D nudge is dt times nudge speed. Nudge speed is just 2.0. Whatever. Okay, update nudges. Okay, we still are not doing anything. E is find manager nudge.entity ID. If e.entity flags is not or runtime only, and equals not er dot in nudge array. Right? That's what we do. We track what arrays these things are in nudges array is that. Okay. When we add a nudge, oh, guess what? Now that we have a flag, going back here, when we put the guy in, we just say if not pushed dot runtime only flags and er dot in nudges array. Okay. And then in the post move reevaluate, instead of resetting manager nudges, first thing we do is say for manager.nudges find manager it.entity ID if runtime only flags is not that. Okay. In nudges array, what? I added that. I didn't save it though. Okay, entity ID. It's just called ID, if I remember. Okay, guess what? We're still not doing anything visible. What a pain in the butt. However, let's change that right now so we don't forget. Okay. Okay, so I want, so when we push things, they get like that. You know what? We could have just put a visual interpolation on these, if I'm being honest. Like, all this nudge stuff that we just did is like... Well, we want it to smoothly blend away if something else picks up the object, is the thing. I don't know, man. Why are people having a flame war in the chat? Why does the entity system need to know? Does it need to not move if it's being nudged? Well, the problem that I'm trying to get to is just when it's time to render the entity, being nudged means that we'll change its transform in some way, right? And well, we need to know that. And we don't want to have to search the nudge list every time we render an entity, because that's slow, theoretically. Although the nudge list is usually empty, but when it's not empty, checking it for every entity that you render is just bad news. So we at least check the flag, and that's not so bad. It gives us very cheap access to know whether we should search the nudge list to find how it's offset, if that makes sense. It's an optimization. Why the stone move like it is cardboard box? Well, the thing is, if it took a... Well, this guy is really strong, first of all. He's the strong warrior. But secondly, if it took a long time to push things, then it would be a shitty puzzle game. Right? Because you don't want to sit there and wait forever while your guy moves things. I mean, I guess we could make the default speed a lot slower and just, if you tap through it, it goes faster, but it's all things we have to tune. But like, you don't really want to wait for the push as a player. You know what I'm saying? One of these days on stream, we're going to do some kind of undo effect, just to put something on the screen when you undo. I don't know what it should be, but it shouldn't just be nothing like right now. Oh, dude. Yeah, undoing to the beginning of the level probably shouldn't redo the camera. I'm going to write that down for later tonight. Coming from the guy who has a puzzle that takes an hour to complete. I'm sorry, my games have 2 puzzles that take an hour to complete each. Who are you talking about? One of them takes like an hour and 45 minutes, all right? So what is the purpose of the slow zooming camera? To give us a little cinematic feel or something, to make the game feel more alive. It's an experiment that we did today. We're going to see how it is. It's a new thing, yet to be tuned and whatever. The one below the windmill, okay. Spoilers! Yeah, that one takes about exactly an hour to do. You are correct. How long does the boat one take? In The Witness? There's several boat puzzles. But the one that takes the longest is only like a minute or something. I mean, unless I'm thinking of something else than what you're thinking of. Camera zoom is maybe a little fast. Yeah, it was originally slower, and I started getting worried about giving people nausea, so we're going to have to work on it. You think faster would mean more nausea. Yeah, we'll play with it. My goal for today was just at least to get it in so that we have something, and now we have something. Yeah, guys, wait till I make a fighting game and I have a boss battle that takes an hour and 45 minutes to complete. Then everybody will be happy. Will they all be aerial POVs as opposed to what? JRPG boss battle that takes a long time is not that interesting because JRPGs are boring anyway, but like an action game boss battle that takes an hour, now you're talking. Now you're talking. Oh, I would, dude. Dude, if I made like a God of War style game or something, which I have no plans to, but if I did, there would definitely be a boss battle that took an hour. Are you kidding me? Of course. And it wouldn't be some bullshit boss battle where you just plink away at his health for an hour. There would be like 40 different phases to the boss and stuff. How about a stealth game? Well, I was thinking about a stealth game. I had plans for a stealth game, and then we didn't make it. So, is there an hour-long puzzle in this game? Well, this isn't that kind of a game. There's not really that kind of timing element in it. So, although we could make one just to troll people. Okay, actually, yeah, there are ways we could easily make an hour-long puzzle. So maybe we'll have to do that. Okay, now we've got our nudge list. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just put it on the visual interpolation for the entity, frankly. Except that maybe eventually we want multiple visual interpolations. But then we would have a system for multiple visual interpolations. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just try the nudge list. Okay. Well, when we draw an entity now, okay, if e.entity flags and er.in nudges array, apply nudge e pause ori. Okay, not manager. E is an entity, right? And then Okay, if we found this guy in the nudge array, then all we're going to do for now is say pos.z plus equals 0.5. Super crappy. Type mismatch. Oh, not entity flags. Thank you for typed enums. Strongly typed enums. We don't want entity flags. It's the wrong flag set. We want runtime only flags. Bro. You're not in any elite. Dude, you're in the elite text lounge. What are you talking about? All right. Okay, that didn't work. It didn't work. We got end to end to where something visual should be happening. So we got to figure out which chain link is not fencing us. All right. Well, let's see if we nudge pushes. Right? All right. No, we don't nudge pushes. Really? Oh, remember the thing that I said? I said we need to make sure that we add things to the pushes even if we can't go. I never checked that. So I bet the pushes array is empty. It's empty. It's empty. Okay. Okay. Well, oh, you know what? That reminds me of something else. Okay. So we always want to add things to pushes, even if we can't go. Okay, gates aren't going to be pushable. These things are all like the normally pushable things. If it's in the same transaction, okay. So here we go. So we always add, and we say return false if you can't go. Okay. Okay, someday we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll done get there. Okay, that still didn't work. Why didn't I just straight up make a debug build? We knew we were going to have to keep debugging. Please voice the next snake. My name is Solid Snake. Let your dreams drive you. Hey, we nudged pushes. There's a party in the next apartment over, and they were just walking down the hall. I'm Batman. Alaskan field mice, is that a Metal Gear Solid thing? Isn't there a Christmas Snake game you like? Yes, Merry Gear Solid. Merry Gear. Merry Gear Solid. From Metal Gear Solid 1. Alright, well that tells you what games I never played. Okay, so we're there. Well, let's go to the simulate. Oh, nudges. Update nudges. All right. Let's get rid of this. Whoa. Update nudges never nudged. Okay. Wait, what? How is that 0? Okay. Okay. What's D-nudge? So things are leaving the nudges array with our runtime only flags being set still. That's very sad. We don't like that. So we should be seeing this guy lift up in the air, and we're not seeing that. So apply nudge. Come on, bro. Oh, the ID is 0. That explains a lot. We never set the ID. You gotta set the ID. What? I hope somebody told me that I never set the ID. I hope somebody caught that and I just didn't read chat. I doubt it. You guys don't catch things. Hey, welcome people. Raiding Party Raiders. Oakland Raiders. Thanks for telling me I never set the ID. All right. Hey, look. Look, it's nudging. It's my cheap, crappy nudging. It's my visual feedback of what I'm trying to push. This is what I told Steven. Like, I played an early build of Steven's sausage roll, and I was like, look, it's hard to understand sometimes why you can't go. In this game, it's easier, but in that game, it was pretty hard. And it's like, look, just give people feedback. Give people feedback. Give them feedback. Give them feedback. Give them feedback. See, it's this line of things can't hit the wall. In fact, let's go even more sophisticated. I mean, this is stupid to spend time on this, but let's make sure the factor stuff is working. 1 minus... Why am I calling it nudge factor when it's on the nudge? It's just a factor, bro. All right. See how the one in the back is moving less than the one in front? See that? That's quality game design. Now here's the thing. So you'll notice if my guy goes up against a wall and I push and he's not done with the animation, we push again. We keep pushing every time I hit the key. I want the nudges to be like that also. Bang your head, bang your head. I want the nudges to be like that. So we're going to actually have a nudge direction. And we will, if they're coming back, we will re-nudge them forward. If you're watching the stream, there's a 50% chance you're autistic. Is that true? I don't know. There's, I'm sure, a 99% chance that you're male. That is for sure. But autistic, I'm not sure about. I don't know how to get stats on that. Yeah, there's no IK right now. IK is an advanced feature that may come later. Is this hand clipping into the geometry? I don't, or did you mean over here? That might be it clipping in, or it might be behind, but it very well could be clipping in. Yeah. All right. Let's make our nudges even better. Okay. Okay. We're going to have a little bit of twist on our nudge. Twist. Like, why am I calling these nudge whatever? That made sense when it was on the entities. Okay. Probably missed one already. Nudge.t Nudge.t is greater than or equal to 1.0. Nudge.id. Totally missed some things, I'm sure. Draw. Let's call it nudge. Whoop. Oh. Whoopsie. What? 4283. Okay. Now, we needed to add one more thing. We needed to add nudge dot advancing. Let's call it advancing. Advancement sign. I don't know what to call it. There we go. So now when we simulate, okay, if nudge.advancement sign is greater than 0, we could have just said advancing. Yeah, advancing is a bool. Okay. And you know what? We're going to do all this different. Okay. So, okay. Find nudge. Okay. Now, if it's in the thing, nudge is find nudge manager push.entity ID. Okay, if there's a nudge, then nudge.advancing is true. That's going to give us our repeated push feedback. All right? All right. I'm sure I forgot some things. Undeclared identifier E. Oh, it's just ID. It's just ID, bro. If you got ID to show to get into the bar? Didn't think so. Okay, simulate. Now, if nudge advancing, whatever, else, whatever, nudge.t plus equals dnudge, nudge.t minus equals dnudge. So if nudge.t is greater than or equal to 1, nudge.t equals 1. 2 minus nudge.t, I guess, because you want to go past 1.0 and back down, right? Yeah. Oh. Okay, so else nudge.t okay. If nudge.t is less than or equal to 0, we remove it. So we go out and back. All right. All right. Whoa. Oh, because we're doing 1 minus. Let's fix that. That's old. We don't need the 1 minus anymore. We're going from 0 to 1, back to 0. See, I keep pushing on it. I can keep it up on the wall by pushing on it. I mean, the nudge itself is going slower. Let's okay, let's elevate nudge speed to a variable. Gameplay visuals, nudge time. I don't know. That's how many seconds a nudge takes. Okay. Well, in simulates, dnudge, denom is gameplay visuals.nudge time. If dt times 2 time. But 2 is because nudges go from 0 to 1, then back to 0. Really? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. Anyway, we're going to apply a nudge to a thing. We've got our denudge. Nudge time times denom, or divided by denom. dt is it yeah, I think it's in the numerator. Dude, I don't know sometimes. Can you hold a key to nudge constantly? So right now, if you hold a key, I think it'll do it very slowly. Let's see. Yeah, we do it. There's some minimum timer, right? But yeah. So right now our nudge is, it's a lot slower than, let's put more nudge variables. Let's have nudge magnitude of O dot 2. And here, pause, we're going to say pause plus equals nudge dot t times nudge dot factor times gameplay visuals dot nudge magnitude times nudge dot direction. Okay, forget that z thing. We're going pro here. All right. Nudge magnitude is something. Operator plus. Vector 2, vector 2, vector 3, vector 3. Given pointer to vector. Oh, right. Delta, pause delta. I could just indirect the pointer, but, you know, let's... Whenever we do that, I just like breaking it into phases. Like, returning the return value being its own statement. Like, I don't like hiding that. All right. That's pretty close, actually. Okay, let's call it nudge magnitude linear. And we'll cut that down by like a lot. And nudge magnitude angular, it's going to be like 5 degrees. I don't know how much that is. All right. Orientation delta is nudge.t times nudge. Let's say f is nudge.t times nudge.factor, right? So then we're just going to say f times this stuff and f times this stuff angular times tau over 360 to put that in radians. Ori delta is a quaternion set from axis and angle. Ori delta 0, 0, 1, and that. Oh, times nudge dot, remember this? Twist direction, because we randomly choose that when we start the nudge. I don't know if that's the right thing, but that's what we did. And then we say Ori return equals Ori delta times Ori return. All right. We are ready to party. I can't move it. I can't move it. I can't move them. They look kind of gelatinous now. I don't know. I want to go. See, just a little feedback. You just need a little feedback. This is kind of terrible nudging, but you know. They do look squishy. They're not actually squishing, but I think it's the weird shapes. Oh, this only has one block. Let's find one with like a row of blocks. Well, this one has a row of blocks. Nope. Yeah, it does look very squishy, huh? We could just make it go faster and see if that helps. And cut down the angles and the... I mean, it kind of is better when it's timed with his hand. Come on, Steven, why didn't you do this in your game? I mean, he did something like this, but... They look like marshmallows now. Okay, you know what I think? I think we need the magnitude to be smaller and the factor to be bigger. So like this and 7.5, right? So this is going to be how much smaller it gets for subsequent things. Oh, maybe that's fine at 0.6. I mean, maybe even 0.5. Because it might help to see more of a difference in the line. Actually, let's even... Screw it! Screw it, man. Okay, so we got to use this. Nudge.factor. Okay. All right, bro. Add dust particles between the blocks. We definitely could do that. Yeah, that seems less marshmallowy. Like, it's getting more stable toward the end. If we added some sound effects that like made it feel solid as well, it might help. We could turn down the linear. Here, let's turn up the propagation factor a little bit. Turn down the linear. It's really small, it seems like, but... And turn up the angular. Whoops, not 83. Oh, let's just do 83 just to see. Oh my God. No, I wanted 8. That seems a little more rigid, right? Because they're not compressing into each other. It looks more like solid objects. It's a little too much. They tip when he pushes them across the floor. Maybe they should tip here too. Maybe. I kind of want, the reason I didn't do that instinctively is because I want a successful move to look different from an unsuccessful move, you know? I want the basic visual feedback to be different, but maybe that's not really necessary. I don't know, but no matter what, so no matter what the nuances of this are, which we can tune later, we've got it in the game. And that means we're going to run a test to make sure I didn't infinite loop anything. And we're going to cook up a Bengal spice tea. How does that sound? Hello. Oh my God. 56 people. Thank you. We're just about to run our amazing. I don't think your rating community got to see our wonderful self-test that we have built into this game. The way it works, so this game has hundreds of levels in it, right? And you want to be able to test them automatically. I should try the other characters before checking it in, but I got to run the test. So all you fine rating people can see what happens when you hit Control B, which is our shortcut that says test all the levels. We expect about 30 levels to fail, by the way. So seeing fails is not bad. It's going to go on like this for a little while. Can I answer any questions about the game for people new to the stream or people not new to the stream? After that song's over, we have 2 more songs because there's so many levels. And then we run out and repeat. We need more songs. There's, depending on how you count, because some large levels are a bunch of small levels put together. But I would estimate by a reasonable count, there's about like 490 levels in the game right now. And we're probably going to have another 100, 150 by the time we ship. When the trader tries to push a line of blocks, does only the first one get nudged? That's a good question. Probably not. I wonder what we should do there. It's a good question. We're still on Yakety Sax. Oh my God, we've got so far to go. Yeah, like what do we want? Do we want it to be that all of them kind of get pushed, or do we want it to be that only the first one gets pushed and that's your signal that you could only move one? I don't actually know. Are we on the next song? Just about. There we go. Some levels have more graphics right now than others. Most of the levels, all the ones that look like a bunch of blocks, is all temporary, and that'll all be replaced by the time the game ships with levels that are not a bunch of blocks. Even something like this one is very early, right? The visuals are going to be much nicer than that in the end. Do I play an instrument? No, I don't. I play the keyboard. I play the keyboard. It should only push what the character can push. How many people are working on this? Right now, let's see. We have, on the game itself only, not counting the compiler, we just added a third programmer, so 3 programmers. And for level design, we started with some games made by other designers, but then by now the majority of the content, the vast majority, is new stuff that we added. I've designed probably most of that, or a lot of that, but we've had a couple of summer interns who designed some levels too. And then we have an art team. We have 1 animator and 2 modelers and 1 concept artist. So, and then 1 like producer. So, you know, maybe, I don't know, 10-ish people all together.
Telling the truth is a bad idea. Telling the truth is a difficult problem. Telling the truth is a scary. Telling the truth is a scary predicament. Telling the truth is a bitter herb. Telling the truth is a dangerous tunnel. When you get out of that tunnel, it's got
bitter herbs.
Forget herb. I never heard of a hit that had the word herb in it. Telling the truth is a dangerous thing. Dangerous! Telling the truth can be dangerous. What?
I've got to wait till dangerous business is over to answer more questions.
Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Why? Why?
Why?
Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Because if yourself, you don't know why. Huh? Well, I'm just giving you what the idea is. Telling the truth can be dangerous business. If you don't know yourself, then you don't know why. Oh, is that brilliant? Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Honest and popular don't go hand in hand. If you admit that you can play the accordion, no one will hire you in a rock and roll band. But we can't sing our hearts out.
Sadly, that's all we have, and now we repeat. Now we repeat. So we need some more songs. We're almost done, though. Did I have any inspiration for the UI and keyboard shortcuts in the editor? Well, the editor kind of evolved from the Witness editor, which evolved from the Braid editor, which evolved from the Happy Cake editor, which might have been a modification of something even older than that I don't remember. So it's one of those things that has progressed over time. Thief should indicate he's trying to pull a block when he's walking into a wall and doesn't actually move. That is true. Let's add that. How fleshed out are the levels in terms of game design? Like, do you think all the ideas that will be explored in the game are already in? No, we're not going to be able to hit all the ideas, actually. There's so much possibility in this game. that we cannot possibly do it all. So it's more like we just have to hit the major areas and not make it feel like there's something missing. But yeah, it's going to be a huge game. It's going to be huge. Huge. It already is pretty big. What's my favorite independent game developer? I don't, when you're actually in the industry, you don't really have a favorite that way, because it's what you do and it's what your friends do. And it's like, well, there are different projects that I like for different reasons. What about when you enchant a bunch of drop blocks and try to move them in a direction they can't go? I think those should wiggle a bit too, quite possibly. Although that might be handled by a different thing, because enchanted things are going to be playing their enchanted animation, and we might have an enchanted can't go. Because we're going to, when you charm the warrior, let me go to something where we can charm the warrior, right? He's the only guy who has there we go. So see how he's dancing right now? The thief would be dancing as well. And I haven't done this yet, but in principle, the characters turn with the bard, right? And go the way she's going. So he would actually have dancing turn and stuff, and would he'd be really grooving and doing all sorts of things. So that might handle the being blocked. Do I think with sound effects like this, there are actually people... All the sound effects are terrible and bad and temporary and will all be replaced. We are about to sign an agreement with a very, very good sound design team whose projects you would know. Are the grid lines going to be in the final shipped game? Well, not in the way that they usually are. They'll be more nuanced and stuff. We want the grid to be clear to you as the player, but we don't want it to look like an obvious grid. So, in the water, we'll have kind of foamy, vaguely grid-ish things. You want to get into game development. Is there a path I suggest for accomplishing that goal? You just have to do it. Whatever simple game you can put together, just do it. That is all I ever did. That's all the people of my generation ever did. We didn't have game design school when I was growing up. That wasn't a thing. Schools were too dignified to have video game design. So, or implementation or whatever, right? The closest my college had was computer graphics. In fact, that may still be true. I don't think Berkeley has a game class. Do you have a level where a wizard swaps through a mirror with something riding a skipping stone while it's moving to an endpoint beam that gets enabled by a bard? No. I didn't even think about that sentence, but probably not. Do I have an FPS counter? In the corner. It's up in the corner. It says 60 FPS. Will the bard have a dancing animation when being charmed by another bard? I don't think bards charm. There's only one bard, and the only case in which you would have multiple bards is if you cloned her. Oh, that's actually not quite true. Oh, no, it is true. And if you clone her, then they all move in the same direction at the same time anyway, so charming wouldn't do anything. Did video games become more dignified, or did schools become less dignified? Schools became less dignified and realized that they could get a lot more student enrollment fees if they taught video game classes, is what happened. And so they proceeded to start having a lot of video game classes, mostly taught by people who have no idea what they're doing. So it's really a ripoff. It's really a big ripoff. except in very rare cases. There are some schools that are good, but not most of them. Not most of them. Well, oh, we didn't look at our fails. Let's look at our fails. It should be about 30. "30 levels failed." There we go. That's exactly what we expected. So we didn't break anything. Oh, I didn't show people what we were working on before we did that test. So let me just check this in. Nudges work. So what we did, you know, it's a game that's often about pushing blocks and stuff. And if you're trying to push things, but you can't go that way because the things are blocking you, I wanted some visual feedback for that. And so we've added that now. So like if I'm trying to go this way and now I'm trying to push this row of blocks, they just kind of squinch like that. And it's just like, okay, I see, I want to go, but you know, they won't let me, and that's fine. And we're just giving that little bit of feedback. It's not great looking yet, but we'll figure it out. You know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Handmade Hero is essentially a game programming apprenticeship. It is, although if I were trying to deliberately make a class out of it, I'd try to do it in a... I try to get more directly to the game than Casey does, right? Casey is just kind of programming, and I would be like, look, here's the minimal path to get to a game, and then here's how you build it out. But my style is very different from his, so yeah. Try pushing them. Pushing what? Try pushing. I was just trying to push things. Do I not understand? There's other characters, so there's Thiefy Thief who pulls things. And yeah, right now, she does not try to pull the block when she hits the wall, which is probably fine. By the way, all these blocks, if you look really closely, are actually like frozen crystallized human beings. You can see a little hand there. It's not a morbid, creepy game in any way. No. No. Okay. Spoilers. All right. So what am I doing? That was sort of the main thing that I wanted to do tonight. Let's just set up a test level where we can just try. Okay, so this character can only push one block. So if we like give her some, let's get rid of this complicated test. So we're going to do this. So she can't push a row of two things, but she can push a row of one thing. So, yeah, so both of them move right now, which someone was saying they didn't think that should be. I'm not sure what the right answer is. Let's try it. Let's see how it is. So when we go to the pushes, here, nudge pushes, we can say can multi-push. Okay, so multi is going to be can multi-push of mover. And we're just going to say, oh yeah, okay. Oh, shoot. We go back. Oh, we go backwards, right? So if not multi, we break. That's it. So we just do the first one. I'm not convinced. Maybe we should just drastically reduce the factor if not multi-push. Oh. So, that sound effect is horrible. I don't know, man. Maybe it's right. Maybe that's right. What do people think? Which game is the maid-looking person from? From this game, where you push the stones out across the water and get the lily pads. She's the castaway character. Hello. Hello. She's kind of... I don't know if we should have her head be bent down that far. It makes her kind of hard to see her face when you're playing. Because... Whoa, my cameras are crazy. Okay. You know, like her head is always down, which might be fun. Maybe that's her character. I don't know. We got to work on these animations. The eyes. We haven't put a lot of work into the eyes yet, seeing as you don't get up and close to people. It's a very far away situation. We got to work on our shadow map situation. I tried to put in something about Shift Tab to make it work better, and it doesn't work. Yeah, we can do a character overview. Spoilers. This is sort of all the characters. Fighter, who can push many blocks. Thief, who can pull one block. Wizard, who teleports. Priest, who protects people. Alt priest, because we have a level with 2 priests. Bard, who charms people and monsters and crystals. Druid, turns stuff to crystal. The Queen, who sort of is the denizen of the overworld, and we haven't totally figured out her whole thing. Castaway, Trader and Castaway are very similar right now, but one of them will probably get an additional ability, or both of them maybe. And this guy, Traveler, who he can pick up gems, basically. He's the promised guy. That's all the characters. And, you know, you wouldn't even ever see them even this close up, right? They're you know, like this is about as close as you ever get to the characters. So they're designed to be a little bit iconic, right? Alt priest. Did the crystal wiggle while I pushed it forward? So the crystals, they don't wiggle the same way, but they tilt up. Let me slow down time real fast. So as I push this, it's going to tilt up for a second. And we just did that the other day as a way of like giving more visual feedback to the push and making it feel more visceral, because it used to just slide along the floor. So, you know, we're just, yeah. I don't know what to do about this, because it's good to have this visual feedback, but it's also, you know, the fact that it bounces back is not right. Like maybe it should just rotate. I don't want to do this tonight because we're getting late and eventually I'm going to want to go to bed. But like, I think maybe it just rotates to a slightly alternate angle and doesn't rotate back, right? So it's like, it's like you're pushing against it and it like lodged against something and stayed there, right? The rotating back is what makes it weird. So I'm going to think about that. I'm going to just let myself think about it. You said that a while ago. Yeah, and maybe we'll tip it forward too. I don't know. I'm just happy that we got it in tonight. That was all I was looking to do. Yeah, I wanted the failed and successful push to be visually distinct, but I'm not sure that that's that good of an idea. Like sometimes something sounds like a good idea, but in reality, it's not as good as you thought, right? So it might be fine to have a failed and successful push. Like really, the dominant factor of a successful push is the object actually frickin' moves to the next square, right? So it's not like there's a lot of confusion about that. Okay. I want to fix the fact that rewinds reinstate this camera. And it's because we're doing it off the gameplay time, and I want the camera to like run its own DT so that we don't, so that if we go onto a level and we start moving and then we undo, we don't want that camera to come back. So let's do that. Can I get Ignacio to stream some? The other programmers on the team, I don't think are that big of a fan of public exposure. Like they don't like to go give speeches and stuff. Ignacio has written articles. So if you look at our witness blog and stuff, he's wrote technical articles, but public speaking, I don't think they like. And streaming is more casual than that, obviously, but it's also programming while streaming is a lot harder than programming while not streaming, by the way, because part of your brain is always occupied with all these things about I have to be entertaining or I'm trying to figure this out and it's hard to figure out and it's going to make things boring for people, or I'm trying to solve this problem and people are saying something stupid in chat that I don't like, and why am I streaming? Like all these things happen. So respect, Lana Lux, everyone who programs while streaming gets serious respect, because and it also proves that you can do it, right? So like a lot of people talk the talk like, oh, I'm a good programmer or whatever, and if you're going to stream, you actually have to be able to make things happen on the stream. So, yeah. When did I start streaming? I don't know. I would do little gaming streams going back a few years. And then when I started making this programming language, I did some presentations on it. That was like in 2014, and those were live streamed. Those might have been like the first serious streams. So like toward the end of 2014. Yeah, I just like the idea of doing that better than like, going to game developers conference and trying to present a language or something. It was like, you know what, I'll do it from the office and just have fun, do it on my own time. And it worked out really well. They get respect unless it's JavaScript. I rated JavaScript programmers last night by mistake. I was very sad. I hope it was a good stream. Whatever stream that was, the pixel art action combat game. the stream where I pointed my camera at the TV and ran around Tutorial Island in Breath of the Wild. That did happen too, yes. Crosscode, right. That's who it was. They probably thought I was picking on them. They were pair programming. Okay, well, that's one way to do it. Okay, let me solve this problem, and then it may be bedtime for me. All right, it shouldn't be too hard. So the thing is, we're using the Entity Manager's clock to determine that camera intro, and we don't want to do that. And normally that would be a little bit annoying, but we're already passing the delta time into these camera linear. What were these called? I just did these today. I remember the micro motion. Yeah, micro motion. Okay, added motion. Right. We did this. 3 categories. Micro motion, which is turned off. Tracking motion, which is also turned off because we're worried about nausea. But then this one we kept for now. So intro motion, and we're going to pass the DT. Update intro motion, DT has a float, and we'll say, instead of saying, at some point in here we get the time. Let's look for the word time. Current time, okay. So we're going to say camera.intro time, right? Camera.intro time plus equals DT. We're going to reset this when we go camera.manager.camera.intro time is 0. Let's put that on the camera. And, well, let's look for... Okay, micro motion uses the Entity Manager time, but that's like a separate thing. We won't worry about that, and it's turned off anyway. So literally, I think we solved the problem. Like I think we're good. So here we go. We're going to zoom in. I'm moving around. Moving on up to the east side. All right, so I'm going to undo. Still undoing. No camera. But if I solve the level, we get to the next one. Camera. See, programming is easy and fun. Programming is good for young adults of all ages. That's exactly what I would have done. All right. All right. Let's call the stream there. We've had a good day. This stream was only 2 hours 15, but we streamed for like 5 hours and like 3.5. So we streamed for like 10 hours today or something. Rewind doesn't re-invoke camera. Modifications to Bardstone test that don't matter. Tweaks to nudging code. Only push one object, only nudges one object. I really shouldn't check in 3 things at once, but you know what? It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Is Matt the fast talking intern going to do another stream? I don't know. He only can stream from the office because he doesn't have a good computer at home. And his last week is next week. So either he's going to have to get a good streaming setup at home or whatever. It also would be kind of bad. Like, I'm fine with him streaming while he still works for us, but like saying like, go ahead and stream anytime of a game in progress, it doesn't feel good. to say that. But maybe he'll do some this week. I don't know. In before, how'd you do that without hooking into the camera's event system? Yeah. Where's the camera component on the Unity? All right. Let's find someone to raid. Shroud is just chatting. We can go raid Shroud. Not. Okay. Game development. Extreme racing. Building a dungeon in Unreal Engine. No sleep, 48 hours. That's going to be low quality. Then he's just playing a game. Making evades and exapunks. That's level design, I guess. No, that's actually one of the... Isn't that the Robodial level? He's just playing exapunks. We can go back to Lurk Zone. I don't know. Does anything really ring a bell with anyone? Lurk Zone? What makes me a Shroud fan? He's really good at games. What more do you need? What more do you need? Leland Kwong. Yeah, we raided Leland Kwong like yesterday or something. Unity tutorial in Korean? I don't know about that. All right. Let's... What did I see that was... I mean, this could be a thing. This could be a thing. Let's see if this is actually involving dungeon building. Starving Viking Grunt. That
makes sense with starving music.
That looks like quality. Look, any game where you can have a starving Viking grunt is good. So we're gonna have some starving Viking grunts, and we'll see you later. Why are there no C programming streams? Because everybody's afraid to program C on a stream. Thank you everybody for coming by. We'll do some more, maybe tomorrow, maybe, who knows? I don't know. But thank you, and we'll see you all later.
Wow.